And we
Good
are
evening.
live, guys. We are live. We are live, and it's a Thursday night. It's nearly Friday. Thank. We have one in the chat. If someone could say hello. Um. So I am just going to quickly share this out. How is everybody's week? He's all been staying out of trouble.
Of course. Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Hey Noreen. Hey Eric. I just want to say I'm thinking of you, Eric, because Eric lost his dad.
Oh,
So just thinking of you. Oh, here comes Shelley. Hey Shelley. So I just wanted to start a wee bit different tonight, guys. What it is there's Shelley's daughter, Carly, has a crystals page. And God love her, she's just starting out. And I really would love for you guys to go over and check it out. What I'll do is right now is I'll put the link in the description. It's called Crystal Creations. It's well worth a wee check out, guys, especially if you love crystals. Go and check Carly out. Talking about Carly, here's the very lady herself. So yeah, guys, I'll just Facebook's changed all these settings. It does my nothing. I found it. So I'll copy the link. Guys, please go over and check Carly out. She is just starting out, guys, and we always support small businesses. Oh my god, I hate my voice coming back through to me. So obviously, just give this wee lassie a wee check out and buy some crystals. But there you go, guys. The link is in the description. Shelley says, I told her so she was chucked to bits. Thank you, Lois. Hope you guys are doing well. Anytime, anything to help out small businesses. We're all good. So tonight, guys, you can see we have Ian Hideous. Oh, I'm saying
hideous.
that right, Anna.
Hideous.
See, Hideous. I didn't want to say hideous in case you went, that's not how you say it.
It is how you say it.
So tonight, guys, we have got the lovely Ian joining us, and again we have Brooke and Laurie, our Wayne, and then Nick. Yeah. So, Ian, do you want to tell us a wee bit about yourself and what you do?
I'll be happy to. I'm Ian Hideous. I host a ghost story radio show. I'll say ghost story, a supernatural, because it comes under a bit of everything. It's not just the ghost stories. We do UFOs, we do the unexplained, we do any kind of mysterious. We even touch on horror films and spooky things on TV. And it's on Black Country. It's a late night show. It's on Black Country Radio, called Ghost Stories with Ian Hideous, and you can catch it. You can listen to it on Friday nights, 11 till 12, or you can go on to a Black Country Extra on demand and listen to the Ghost Stories show whenever you like. And I have all people on across the country, from across the country, to tell me about their spooky experiences, and it's great fun.
So what got you started? Like, what got you into doing the paranormal?
It's pretty much a lifelong obsession with anything macabre or spooky. I was the child at the fun fair that would want to go on the ghost train straight away. I was the boy in the video shop that I'd want to hire Nightmare on Elm Street instead of Fraggle Rock or something like that. I'd always want the, I'd always want the spooky things. I'd always want, if we ever went to the news agent, I'd always want the horror comics and things like that. And it just grew from there. And I've always loved the theatrical side of it. I can't resist an excuse to dress up. And I'm 44 now, and from my teenage years, I've performed in bands and different music videos and so on and so forth. And I always aim for a horror, supernatural theme to anything like that. and it was due to playing in bands that led to the Ghost Stories show starting. Because I retired from music for a few years in my 30s, and in recent times rather, when a few of us have had perhaps a little bit more time on our hands, I got back into making music through boredom. And one thing led to another. And I'm from, do you guys know Dudley? Do you know Stourbridge? Have you heard of those
I have
areas?
I have a friend that lives there, but I don't quite know it myself.
Right. Well, it's often referred to. Birmingham is referred to Brum, and they're referred to as Brummies. But
Right.
Dudley, Stourbridge, that area, it's all referred to as the Black Country. And when the band started doing things, we were asked to go on Black Country Radio and promote our music. And not only do they play music, but Black Country Radio have multiple specialist shows. Like they have one on wrestling, they have one on fishing, they have stuff on cycling and things like that. And someone was mentioning perhaps, a Most Haunted type supernatural show, to which I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And one thing led to another, and now I'm hosting the supernatural show. If someone told me this time last year I'd be hosting the supernatural show, I wouldn't have believed you. I have experience public speaking for many, many years, but I'd never presented anything before. And since then, I've had some wonderful guests on. I've had I'm sure you guys are familiar with Wednesday Paranormal, aren't you?
Yeah.
Russ Bevan.
Yeah.
Russ has been on a few times. We've had do you know Paralytic Activities?
Yeah.
Do you know those guys?
Vaguely.
Those guys are great. We've had those on. Black Country Paranormal. Oh my. Priory Paranormal. We had some really wonderful ghost hunting teams and people that have shared some really great stories and some really spooky stuff.
I can imagine. I'll quickly run through the comments. Hey Holly, hey Rita, hey Nigel for the North Pole. Shelley saying hello to your daughter. Rita says my Mr. Spooky himself. And I've posted what you've shared with me to Ian's page.
Oh, thank you.
So check it out, guys. Shelley is asking, have you had any Scottish teams in your show, Ian Lowe?
I have not yet, but I'm more than happy to. We've had a couple Say again, sorry.
No, on you go, sweetheart.
We've had a couple of little celebrities on the show so far, but we've not had anyone from Scotland yet. I'm hoping we do. If people can't always make it to the station, I'm sure we can set up some kind of Skype thing. Or the other option is if people want to send me voice clips, I'll happily play that. Or if someone just wants to send me an email, I'll happily read it out. But we've had a couple of people. There's someone in the works at the moment who I'm not going to name just yet. But I don't know if any of you, yourself or any of your listeners, do you remember a television show in the 90s called Gladiators?
Yes. Oh, who doesn't? I really love Gladiators.
We had Scorpio on as a guest. Then that was amazing, telling her spooky real life stories. So that was pretty amazing. And there is someone else. There is someone else in the works at the moment, but I'm not saying who that is. Not yet.
Keep stump. Obviously, when you get any questions, my love, just tell me to shut up. Tell Lo, shut up.
The cogs are turning at the moment.
Oh, see when the cogs are turning, I know there's something in the works with our Ian. Shelley's saying, oh, brilliant. And Nicola is saying, hi Nicola, hey Nicola. I loved Gladiators, I loved it in the 90s, I used to watch it all the time. That's why I love YouTube, because I was sitting watching YouTube and I put in Gladiators and it was just amazing to see. I'm not too keen in the your one though.
The characters aren't there. For something to be larger than life, you have to be willing to portray a character. I mean, remember Wolf from the original one?
Oh, I love Wolf.
Wolf was great, and the weird thing was he played the bad guy. But if you ever hear him speak, he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And I think you often find that, be it in sport, be it in film, be it in music, the people who play the bad guys are often far, far more friendly than in real life than the people who play the squeaky clean characters. Because I suppose at the end of the day, to play a bad guy, you've got to be prepared to laugh at yourself.
Definitely, without a doubt, without a doubt. So what got you into the whole, going down the radio route?
The radio route, I'm the kind of guy with any kind of performing or theatrical, any opportunity, I tend to say yes to anything. So when the idea of the radio show was suggested, even though I had no experience in presenting whatsoever, as I say, I had 20 years experience of public speaking, doing it in bands, so that didn't faze me. But I had no idea how to present, and that was a bit of a trial and error thing. And it just happened. As I say, if someone had said to me, "This is going to happen," I'd have said, "Nah, it's not." It was basically, the best way I can say it, I was in the right place at the right time, and I heard the right thing, and I opened my mouth at the right time and said, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah.
And then I started reaching out to ghost hunting teams. And there's a guy who produces my show called Todd, and he does all the buttons and stuff. He's in his 20s, so he understands how computers work far better than I do. And Todd is a big help to helping me get people on as well. And he's part of the he's not just a producer, he's part of the show now. And I've had people, I mentioned him before, Russ Bevan from Wednesday Paranormal.
Yeah.
Russ has been a great help in me getting some different supernatural guests and things like that. And because that was my one issue which I had at the start. And I'd love to ask you guys' opinion on this. I found, I won't say as a bit of an outsider, and there are some I've met some really great people while I've been doing this show. But do you guys find that there can be a bit of gatekeeping in the supernatural community? Do you think it's all, not with everyone, obviously, but do you think there are some teams that aren't as accessible as others?
Definitely.
In what sense? Before I answer it, now answer it wrongly.
Not everyone wants to let everyone in, which is crazy to me, because if you're doing a positive project, you want as many people as possible.
I've got to admit, when I first started out, before I get into any teams at all, there was a few teams that I had approached to see if I could possibly get a chance with them, if I could go out with them, see how I'd enjoy it. And a lot of them didn't answer me back. And it did quite thing with me, because it was quite, while I'm approaching your team. That is why I kind of, when we have conversations and we talk about newbies coming into the paranormal and the one thing I'll always say, and I'll make it very, very clear, if someone approaches you, have the decency, the common decency to answer them. If you don't want them in your team, or you don't want to take them out, at least have the common decency to say, look, I'm not going to take you out, but I can suggest who you can go and see, instead of kind of not answering at all, because you make that person feel like shit. Like, honestly,
and it won't, and that will not do you any favors in the long run. I'm a firm believer in. I heard a line once. Do you remember the actor Bruce Lee?
Yes.
He had a wonderful motto, which basically said, "Don't ever underestimate anybody, and make sure you show respect to everybody." Because you never know, if you're rude to this person today, and it applies so much in different walks of life, especially in the entertainment world, walks of life, be it with ghost hunting, be it with music, be it with everything. The people you meet, I guarantee you're going to meet that person 2 years down the line. It might be 1 year, it might be 10 years, but this person you were rude to, this person you wouldn't help, this person you wouldn't give a chance, you're going to meet them at some point down the line, and chances are they're going to remember that. I mean, I was very polite, because I always like try and be oh God, I sound like I'm really blowing my own trumpet now. I always try and be the bigger person. I always try and let something go. But a few years, I'm going back 10 years ago now, when I looked into joining ghost hunting teams, something always interested me. And there was a guy locally. I'm not gonna say his name on here. There was a guy locally, and he had very much of a a gatekeeper attitude. Basically, no one's allowed in. No, and I thought, but everyone had to share his projects. He wanted everyone to promote his projects, but he wouldn't let anyone else take any joy in it, take any active role in it, shall we say? And I was like, yeah, you want to do that? That's fine. And a couple of months ago, he actually reached out to my show and said, "Oh, can I come on and do an episode about me?" And I was like, "Not right now." I was polite. I was polite, but I was just like, "Not right now." So that's
I bet you weren't polite. I bet you weren't polite. Really, you were polite to them, and then really you're going, "Screw you! You're not coming on."
The thing is, though, is some of the times it's a case of you have to be careful on who you step on the way up the ladder.
Because definitely,
you're going to fall off that ladder and go past all of those people on the way back down.
Well, it's that thing, isn't it? Be the old saying, be nice to the people you meet on the way up, because you meet them on the way down as well. And but and with the station, because if people contact me, because am I allowed to give away a contact thing for the show on this station?
I suppose since it's you, I'll let you off with
it. Well, I'll just give a little shout out that anyone all over the country that would like to come on Ghost Stories with Ian Hideous on Black Country Radio, you can email me on ian.hideous@blackcountryextra.co.uk, or you
PM me to that's it. See if you message me, I can copy and paste it, and I'll put it in the comments.
Thank you. That'd be very helpful. But in terms of being polite to people that message me, I sort of have to be, because the email is via the station. So I have to be very nice.
What you mean is, when you look at my email, you'll be like, "Oh, there's that fucking Lois again."
No.
I was going to say there'd be certain emails that I would be getting off of certain people, and I wouldn't even open them. I'd just delete them straight away.
Well, yeah, there is that. You can. Am I back?
Yep.
Yeah, honey.
So I dropped my phone a second. I'm not sure if it went or it went funny.
No, you're absolutely fine. Okay, right, cool. We have Richard. Hey, Richard, I hope you're well. He says, Dutch courage are the best. Wow. Opinions vary. Annette says, yes, some only want to go on well-known podcasts and they say no to anybody that isn't. Or you have people that are desperate and want to go on everybody's podcast and nobody wants them. Richard says too many of them, and Richard says you've got my number, Ian. Anytime, pal.
You are on the list. You are on the list, but I do have a bit of a waiting. But I haven't forgotten you. Richard. There is just a little bit of a list at the moment, but I have not forgotten you. Fear not.
But Ian, see that Richard? I'd put him to the very bottom. I'll put him to the very bottom, and I'll jump up the ladder. Shelley says, I found that in my paranormal journey. Just be true to yourself and others. If there isn't any agendas, then you can get on with most people and do fine. This is very true, Shelley. Hi, and Rita saying, hi, Annette, and why has this came up for me? Sorry, guys, it's a platform support for StreamYard. I have no idea why it just popped up. I put okay, pal. So yeah, when you're off a quiet.
So all right, I've sort of had a little thought. So, do you actually go out with people or with teams and actually go to events and stuff?
I've slowly been invited to some things lately. I know Russ. Sorry, I mentioned him again. Russ Bevan. He's doing a thing called the Haunted Exchange. So if anyone wants to network with me, I will be appearing at that. I think it's on the 1st of June. So I will be appearing there. As far as going out with teams, not as yet. Because before I started the show, I found it very hard to get a team to take me with them. But now, all of a sudden, I seem to be getting a lot of offers from a lot of teams that have come on. I've been to a few organised events, and some of them I found very well done. Others, not so much.
Yeah.
I mean, may I speak openly on this show?
Listen, this is a no holds bar show, so you
Right.
can say what you want as long as you're not getting naked or anything
Oh,
like
no,
that.
no.
You can say what you want.
I've been to a few, what do you call them? For want of a better word, we'll call them psychic nights, I suppose one could refer to them as. And I find myself getting a little frustrated at those because one thing I'm not cool with, I don't like bullies and I don't like people taking advantage of other people, especially people that are vulnerable. And I'm the kind of guy I will just say it to you. I don't if I don't agree with something, I'll say it. And I found, long story short, me and a friend of mine went to a psychic night at the Station Hotel a few years ago. Station Hotel in Dudley. It's a very old haunted hotel. I'm sure a lot of people listen to this will know what it is. And there was a woman walking around the hall, I suppose one could call it, with a microphone, and she was trying to do the thing like saying, "Oh, I've got so and so coming through. I've got so and so coming through," and she wasn't really getting any takers. And it went on for about 10-15 minutes. It was getting a bit uncomfortable because like she wasn't getting any takers. And all of a sudden, she seemed to just, I don't know if pick on's too, I'm going to say pick on, even that might be too strong a word. She sort of picked on an elderly fella behind me. And she was saying, "Love, I think I've got your father coming through." And he goes, "Oh, yes." And the only description she gave him was, "Oh, he liked," and take into account this guy had to be minimum late 70s, and she's saying to this gentleman, "Oh, he liked his old-fashioned stuff, didn't he? He wasn't a fan of this new stuff. Oh, he liked his traditional foods and stuff. He didn't like this takeaway nonsense." And the guy's in floods of tears. And as she's saying this, I'm just looking over my shoulder and I'm trying to get the person's attention because I'm like, "Nah, this ain't cool." And that's the sort of thing I can't be doing with stuff like that, because to me that's that's not supernatural. That's picking on a vulnerable person. And unfortunately, a few of them psychic nights I've been to, that's what I seem to see, and that's something I'm not cool with.
Mm. I mean, I always can tell when a psychic medium is genuine when they bring through my gran from my mum's side, and I can tell when there's cold readers. Now, I've had cold readers, I've watched cold readers, but I've also had very, very good psychic mediums. One, which I did his development class, is Barry John, and I've got a lot of time in the world for Barry John. He is an amazing guy who is at the top of his game, and he's gave me readings that has blew my mind. And I love Barry John to bits. He calls me a creep because I keep saying how handsome he is, and he'll keep saying, "You're a creep." Another one that I really, really rate to the highest of heavens, and I would love him on my show, but unfortunately had a family bereavement, so I don't think I'll get for a while, is Ad. Ad is amazing. He's from, I keep saying Dutchland. I need to stop that with Dutchland. He's from Holland. And he really, really blew my mind recently. And I'm quite an open person.
Yeah.
So I can I can honestly open up about this. So Viv had him on the show, and I totally forgot. Well, not that I forgot, but I didn't think she needed me because obviously the link wasn't there. Unbeknown to me, I was in one profile and it was on the other. So the last 5 minutes I managed to catch up, and obviously I sat in for the last 5 minutes. I was gutted because I really, really love Ad. And when we came offline, he gave me a reading, and it was one that brought me to tears. And it was one of the most powerful ones I've ever had. Now, this man picked up about my papa. He said about how my papa said he was proud of me. Then he brought out 2 cards. Now, I've never told Dad about my life. I've never told Dad anything about my grandpapa. I've never ever mentioned anything to Dad. And Dad showed me 2 cards, one of a sunflower and one of roses. My papa and gran used to plant sunflowers every time, every summer. Roses, my gran would. And it really brought me to tears. And that's how I know ones are genuine.
Yeah.
I've also had I used to go to a spiritualist church, and I had a reading from a guy who was blind. Now, my mind always goes at 100 miles per hour with questions. I'm that person that is going to question me a question with a question. And I just thought to myself, you can't see, but you're like pointing, and some of the things that he was coming out with, and the things that he was saying to me, and I'm thinking, holy shit, you, like, I've never met you, don't know if you had them. And I was just memorised with thing. So there is really, really good psychic mediums out there. There really, really is. The problem you do have is you have ones that, and I know people have got to make a wage these days, you know, and I understand that. I really, really do. But you have ones that are cold breeders that charge a fortune, and
That's
I
not
just
cool.
feel.
Yeah, I mean, there's a new breed of them going about on TikTok at the moment, and they
God.
get you to watch the live feed, and they will come out with something, and they'll ask the people that are watching that if they've got a connection with what she's just said, to leave a certain coloured heart on the screen, and then she'll continue the reading and ask those people that left that coloured heart to respond to the next step. So she's narrowing it down by coming out with the next step. And
just a process of elimination.
All this time, she's got people gifting and sending all the hearts and everything else. And she pushes it as well. She actually turns around and says, thank you, and keeps sending those hearts and whatever, blah, 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 because it helps me to do all of this. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, these people are watching this and they're falling for this hook, line and sinker. And literally all she's doing is ask one question, and she'll get 20 people leave, say, a green heart. And then she'll leave another question, and 17 people will leave a green heart until she whittles it down. And then she will say to that person, I will go off onto a one-on-one with you on, on TikTok Live or whatever. And you just think, well, hang on a minute. You've just asked about 10 questions that have all led to this one person. Now, the reader has already got those 2 answers, 10 answers straight away. So she's already got a good idea of or about that person just from the reply of those 10 answers. So, you know, I tell my other half not to bother with them, because that's leading you astray and making you think that these breeders are really good when they're not.
I believe there are people out there with gifts, but I think the ones that I'm not saying no one should make a living at doing something, but when people are taking advantage of people, that's just not
Yeah.
cool. And that applies.
No.
That applies to any form of taking advantage of people. It's just not cool.
Yeah.
I had to smile a little bit recently. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if this is a story he once shared on air, so I'll be vague. But one of my guests recently, he went to see a medium because he'd heard negative things about this medium, and he'd heard almost charlatan behaviour, I suppose one could call it. And one thing this medium specialised in apparently was looking at artefacts. So if you took her something from perhaps your family or an artefact that meant an awful lot to you, this reader could tell you about it. So what he did, he went to see her and he gave her like a ceremonial decorated coin, which he handed to her and said, "Could you tell me anything about this, please?" And straight away she went, "Oh yes, this has a long history in your family, doesn't it? You know that there's something pretty big attached to this." And he was like, "No, it's a prop replica from a TV show that I bought off eBay last week. You know, why have you said that? Why have you said that?" And no, that's the sort of thing that amazes me. I think some of them can say, some people, I'll say, I don't doubt the gift exists. I remember many years ago in the 90s, I was in London and I was going through, where was it?
Bye, Shelley. She says, "Sorry guys, I'm going to have to go. I was enjoying this, but I've got wisdom tooth out today and the pain's getting the better of me. Take care of all of you, and you, Lois, thank you for earlier on. You're very welcome, my sweetheart. Anytime. Bye."
Many years ago, I'm going to say it was Petticoat Lane, one of the markets in London, and me and a friend of mine were approached by someone in Petticoat Lane, and she said things that there was no way she could have known, and we had given her nothing, and that was literally meeting someone in the streets. So that's pretty cool. And one thing I did respect is she didn't ask for any reward, shall we say?
Yeah.
The answer was given without the desire of reward. It was given without profit. It was given free.
Yeah.
It was given selflessly, shall we say?
Yeah. I'm going to quickly run through the comments. Richard says it's unusual for Wayne to be so quiet. I think he's fed up with me.
No, I'm saving my voice because I've got a lot of voiceover work to do over the next couple of weeks. So I've got got to be good.
Richard said, "Cold readers." Eric says, "Absolutely agree, Ian." Terry Two Willies. Hey, Terry Two Willies. I could take that. I'll ask my mum about it. Oh, she's dead. I can't. He's something else. Eric said, and Ad and Viv are the only ones I trust. Richard calls me Dizzy Lizzy. He's a prick. Hi, Arena. How you doing? You're welcome. Bye, love. Bye. Terry Two Willie says that's how it should be. Do you know, I've never ever got out of that routine. They call him Terry Two Willies. And that was the thing we started. Because we obviously you know I do podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Wait now, I've got to think how many days a week I do it. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and depending on if I'm asked to go on MD show.
Mm-hmm.
So, on one Tuesday night, me and Viv were having a laugh, and we just started calling Terry Two Willies, and it's just really stuck. So every time his name comes up, I say Terry Two Willies.
Some of the best nicknames just come out of nowhere. I think I'm sorry, I know this is not supernatural related, but I think one of the worst things is, when people try and give themselves nicknames, and that's not how nicknames work. When someone tries to call themselves Cobra or something like that, you're like, oh, fuck off. I went to my 20-year secondary school reunion a few years ago, and one of the guys there, and I'm not going to say his full name, but it rhymes with egg. So at school he was often called Egg, or egg related jokes. Like you'd often ask him what he was getting for Easter or stuff like that. But
Aye.
when we met at the secondary school reunion, on the side of his neck he'd had the word chopper tattooed. And I said, "Why have you got the word chopper tattooed on your neck?" And he goes, "Oh, everyone calls me Chopper now, don't they?" And I just said, "Nobody calls you Chopper. You tell people to call you Chopper. Your name's Fried Egg, or oh God, what else did we used to call him?" But yeah, but it wasn't Chopper. But yes, it's bless.
Yeah, but
Well, I mean,
what's
to go
so
from
fun?
fried egg to chopper, I mean, it's sort of
Yeah,
very
it just
masculine, isn't
doesn't
Yeah,
happen much.
it is. It's kind of like I have a friend. It comes on sometimes. Now, me and my partner, we always have this laugh, right? Because he'll call Nick Millay my golden boy. He's my golden boy, and he'll make the jokey. I bet if yous lived closer, you and Nick would be a couple, right? And I just laugh about it, and I say, aye. He says that's my toy boy. So the next thing you know, obviously he'll say about Nick. So I've got one Nick on the right hand side that's my golden boy, right? And I have another Nick on my left hand side that's Nick the Prick. In return for calling him Nick the Prick, he calls me Lo the Ho. This is our thing. And seriously, I shit you not. See if I'm on a show or if my phone goes, he'll always say hello, Lo the Ho. And I'll always say, there's Nick the Prick. And it's so funny. And the two is just banter all the time. He's got a great team as well. You should check out. It's called his team is like a long-winded. Why does teams have to have a long-winded name?
I'm a firm believer is something catchy, something that people can remember, and it's got to be something that people can find in a search. Because one thing I've noticed when looking up certain things and researching some things, if things are too similarly titled, you struggle to find the one you're looking for. Which is why any projects that I will create, especially going forward with the show, I always put my name in it, as in the Ian Hideous name. So people can find me, or at least find the show or find the station, But when you just call something, let's say I'd called the show Ghost Stories. No one's finding that. No one's finding that on a Google, are they?
No.
Well, they'll find something called Ghost Stories, but they probably won't find me.
They might, because Spookanori might come up in the whole Ghost Stories.
Unfortunately, Spookanori does come up pretty quickly if you put it in Google.
What's Spookanori?
Well, Spookanori is I write ghost stories.
You what, sorry?
I write ghost stories and horror.
Oh, fantastic.
Horror stories. And when I first started doing them, when I was working with Most Haunted, I used to just record them live from my garden shed because it was nice and dark in there. And all I'd have was just my face reading the story. When I left working with Most Haunted, I then decided that I was going to start publishing my stories. So I went through Amazon and started to publish them. But I thought, I've got to think of a catchy name. Yeah. And I always thought of Jackanori when I was a kid. So I thought, they're ghost stories. So why not Spookanori?
That works. It's memorable. It's catchy.
Yeah. So I just started Dwayne Seaton Presents Spookanori. And as a result, now I'm now on to my 5th book.
Oh, fantastic!
Well, what I'll do, Ian, is I'll invite you to Wayne's groups. So I will. Team Spirited, Lifting the Veil, and see this Nick. It has too long a winded name. Team Spirited, Lifting the Veil, UKGHB. It's like one of the ones that you have to get. See, if it was a tongue twister, I'd fail it. Terry says Lolo. Hiya, Robert. How you doing, pal?
One thing I'd like to ask you, Wayne, do you like the old short ghost stories, the old pan books of horror? Are you a fan of those?
I have been. I mean, I do like to sort of dive into like all these little collections that used to come out years ago, like Marks and
Yeah,
Spencer.
I love that.
Used to bring out the collection of ghost stories, and there'd be like 50 stories in there. It'd only be 100 pages long. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Each page, each story is like 2 pages long, and I do a little live feed pretty much sort of every other Sunday where I read other people's short ghost stories. And one of them I read, it was literally took a minute to read it, and I thought, now I thought my stories were short stories, but these were too short. They were ones that you could literally 2 sentences and it was done, and you're just like, wow. And in the end, I ended up reading 15 of these short stories because they were that small.
Oh, wow.
So
I love looking into the old.
Sorry, go on.
Say again, sorry.
But sometimes I find that the shortest ones, they can still pack a punch just as much as the longer ones.
Definitely. Quantity isn't always quality.
No, right, that's right. Yeah.
I love going down the lost media rabbit hole, and I was looking at some of the old horror short stories, and it's shocking. You know, when like the BBC especially used to do like the ghost story for Christmas and different things like that, and like Ghost Watch and the Stone Tape.
Yeah.
It's shocking. It's shocking how many of these short horror stories, especially from like the pan books of horror era, ended up as televised plays in like the Play for Today era and things like that. And are you familiar with, I'm trying to track it at the moment, but I'm not paying the best part of £40 for it, which is what it's currently selling at. Are you familiar with a late 60s television show on the BBC called Late Night Horror?
No.
I'm
a 70s baby, so anything before the 70s,
I wasn't born till 79, but I love looking at old stuff. Essentially, Late Night Horror was too much ahead of its time. It was almost like a Tales from the Crypt, like an anthology series. It ran for 6 episodes on the BBC in the late 60s. I think it ran from like November 68 till say March, April 69. And currently, only one of these episodes exists. You know, when the BBC lost a lot of stuff, didn't they? They used to tape over. They used to tape over things, or erase things. So currently, only one of the episodes exists. But apparently, the intro is on YouTube to the series. They were absolutely terrifying. They really, really unnerved people. And there's some really famous people in some of them from like British TV. Do you remember Some Mothers Do Have Them?
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely love that program.
Well, do you know his wife, Betty, Michelle Detrice?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's in one of the episodes of it. I think it's oh my, what's it called? It's something like Hell's Bells or something. That's an AC/DC. Something about like the bells from hell. And essentially, the synopsises of the episodes still exist. And basically, it just sounds, just from reading the synopsis, it just makes me want to see the episode. Essentially, like a newly married couple go to the seaside, and it's all deserted, and all they can hear is just the church bell going over and over again. And that just sounds really creepy. And I know there was one episode, I think it's called The Triumph of Death. And all it says in the synopsis that survives is, in a small town in a rural village in England, an old lady lives alone in a mansion that is reportedly haunted. Now, how can you not want to see that?
Yeah.
I know that is... Terry says, my wife and I have been Spooks HPI, Hertfordshire Paranormal Investigators. Terry Two Willies, put your name down too. But I must admit, I love all the old horror programmes. But definitely check Wayne out. He's really good at his stories and his competitions as well. Which reminds me, I need to watch Sunday night.
Well, you do, because you've only got a couple of days left.
Oh, hurry it. Oh, really?
Yeah. You've only got a week with this one.
Oh, I need to hurry up then.
And you can end up getting the cube from the Hellraiser. That's the prize.
Oh.
I like the old Clive Barker stuff. Clive Barker's a great author.
So basically, there's some characters that I showed on the live video, and you have to give us the name of the character and the film that it came from.
Mm-hmm. Have you got a picture of it?
Everybody's well, it's on my Spookanori group, the live video, and then basically the competition was right at the start of the live feed, and then basically you have to just send a message with all the answers in, and then on next Sunday I will go live again reading some more ghost stories, and then I will do the draw of the winning answers. So whoever is in the draw, and if they win, they get the cube from Hellraiser.
2 seconds, because you know what my brain's like. If I don't do it now, I'll forget. Right, Ian, I've just sent you a invite to Mr. Spookanori.
Oh, fantastic.
But yeah, definitely. So yeah, actually, do you know what? I was sitting saying to my partner there before I came on, was I really, really want to download that Saw 3D. Well, I want to buy it off the Amazon, but Amazon doesn't have it, and I'm freaking gutted. I'm like, really? They would have so many, but it doesn't have them all in the Saw collection. But I'll tell you what I have subscribed to, guys, that I think is pretty good. Okay, low P2W. I never meant two Willies. I meant your ghost name. Shudder. I've subscribed to Shudder. It's really good, and I must admit, I'm really into right now, and it's well worth a watch, is the Hell House franchise. It's really, really good.
I watched one from Shudder the other day. It was cut that leaves arachnophobia in the shade, and it's French. It's in French, but it comes up with English subtitles. But it's called Infested.
Oh.
And it's about a guy that ends up buying it looks like a camel spider. He's basically brought this from some guys in Afghanistan, and it's come back to France. Only it gets out of the box and it has loads of babies, and they start running amok in this block of flats. And it's
camel spiders are nightmarish at the best of times.
Yeah, these ones get rather big.
Well,
horrible.
I'll tell you what I do. Sorry, honey.
Have you watched the Creep Show series on Shudder? That's really, really good.
No, I haven't yet. I need to do it.
Well recommend.
Well, what I will say is, I must owe an apology. See, I wish Nick was here. In fact, I'm getting actually quite worried, because Nick said he would be a few minutes, and he's not usually this late. I'll give him a wee phone after the show and make sure he's all right. He's probably fell asleep in that bloody massage chair, that boy. He did that to me once.
I don't know, he could be having problems with his computer like Joe was.
I think so. I've always said that I didn't like the film Tremors, and I thought it was a load of shite. But it wasn't quite what I thought it was, the same film as I thought it was. So there I was watching it the other night with Stephen, and he says to me, I thought you didn't bloody like Tremors. And I went, was this Tremors? And he was like, aye. And I was like, I actually really like it. I think it's pretty good.
Do you know what
Uh,
film you were thinking of that you didn't like?
I don't know what it was, but hey, Irene. So Irene says hi, Ian,
Hello.
and hi, Wayne.
Evening, Irene.
If you're looking for another good podcast to watch, it is Spooky Japan. Check them out, guys, and Things Network. So they're really, really good. Poor Irene. And that's for Rita. That's for Rita.
Tremors,
So
Tremors was okay, but after the second one, they started getting a bit boring.
I've not seen the second one. I've seen the first one, and I thought that was actually really good. Though, to be fair, I know. Sorry, on you go, love.
Do you know what I think the secret is to a good sequel? Do something different. I mean, I think what lets Tremors 2 down is it tries to be the first one too much. Whereas I think some of the great sequels that work, like Aliens or Terminator 2, I mean...
Oh, there's my boy. Watch that. Where the new to be slag him. What bloody time do you call this at 50 minutes? Did you fall asleep?
I was really running late because I've actually. See, oh geez, don't tell me. Okay, thought for a second the connection froze. No, it's been a really busy day for me because I had to pack up because I got a trip tomorrow.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about your trip. I thought you'd went on that bloody massage chair and then fell asleep. I think his connections went. Ian, that's Nick. Nick, this is Ian.
Oh.
Ian. Nick always freezes.
Oh.
Nick.
Yeah, I think Nick's got issues again.
Oh, God damn it. It's alright, he'll be packing his teddy bear, his nightlight, and his bedtime story. But don't tell him I said that, guys. He'll kill me.
Did you see I've got a teddy behind me at the moment? I've got Cthulhu from the Lovecraft books behind me.
Irene says, we're different. She's exhausted. Nick, Irene says you have to pack your teddy bear. I says, pack your teddy bear, your bedtime story, and the nightlight. And he's gone. Nicholas? Oh, Nicholas.
I think he's gone again.
By the way, this happened.
Connection issues at the moment, I think.
I'll do the talking for me and Nick together. Right, third time lucky's the charm, my son.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the internet, but I had to disconnect and reconnect in hopes of that it was going to work. It looks like this time it did.
Right, don't jinx it. Nick, this is Ian. Ian, this is Nick.
Hello, Nick.
And Nick's gone again.
Oh.
Well, Nick says it's really lovely to meet you. I'll translate. I'll just translate for Nick.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Nick.
Poor man. Really poor man. So, do you want to tell people where they'll find you?
Yes.
Right, we'll go for fourth time.
Okay.
Quickly. Nick, this is Ian. Ian, this is Nick before you freeze.
Hello, Nick.
Nice to see you, Ian.
Oh, my Nick. What's happening?
Not much. It's been, like I said, it's been busy for me. I've been packing up for my trip.
Right, I've got to ask you, right, did you remember to pack your nightlight, teddy bear, bedtime story?
I don't remember needing to pack that stuff up.
and then your Jerry pickles and your Gorilla Glue.
Oh yeah, can't
Well,
forget your Gorilla
the
Glue.
Gorilla Glue, but the Pickles, that's Tom's thing.
Oh, guys, I just want to say a quick happy birthday to my co-host and Friday Frighteners, Bri. Happy birthday to you. I'll sing to you the more night. Oh, he's here. He's here. So, Ian, do you want to tell people where to find you? Where
Yes.
shall they find you?
Well, if you'd like to come on the show, if you want to come on Ghost Stories of the Ian Hideous, there are 3 ways to find me. There is a Facebook page to the show, and if you just type into your Facebook machine Ghost Stories of the Ian Hideous, it will pop up. So you can give it a like, or you can email me on ian.hideous@blackcountryextra, extra with an X, .co.uk, or you can WhatsApp me on 079 55 68 7902 and get in touch and share some spooky stories with me and come on the show.
Awesome. Wayne looks confused. He's like,
No, it's just like the floating arm behind me.
bye, Nick. That poor man. Poor man. Nick's had off a bad connection. I don't know if it's StreamYard or what the hell's happening. Nick,
Yeah.
you're alive. Oh, my poor Nick.
I think, Nick,
again,
I think you
seriously
need to
don't know what's
subscribe to
going on right
Starlink.
now. I think supposedly they're saying the connection. Yeah, supposedly they're saying the connection's on. Yeah, they're saying it's supposedly the connection's unstable.
Nick, I'm not going to lie to you. I have no bloody hell what you just said there because you sounded underwater. You just went blah, 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 blah.
He said
Okay, bye, Nick.
the network was saying that it was unstable.
Poor boy.
He needs to go onto Starlink.
Do you know something? StreamYard has been a right proper dick, you know, with everything. And I found setting up this the other night, I couldn't add again things network. Obviously it's been added in tonight. I'm considering looking at other networks. No networks is looking at thingy, but looking at other thing we stream. Because I just think StreamYard is really doing my box in now. Hi Siobhan, first time to the show. Do you guys deal with the paranormal? Yep, we all deal with the paranormal. But I'm really looking at other ways that I can stream because StreamYard is just driving me to.
I don't think it's just StreamYard. I think it is the internet full stop because Facebook on Sunday evening came up with slow connect. It kept warning me of slow connections. Although I had a full bar of service, I was still coming up, it was still coming up as slow connection, and I wasn't even linked to anything like StreamYard. So I think it's just the internet in general. I'm going to say, and I'm going to go as far as saying it's this solar storm. Because they did forewarn of this.
It's a total pain in the backside. My poor Nick, you've hardly had the show the night, my love.
Making up for last night.
Well, I would have done fine if I wasn't having these connections several times.
Oh, my poor darling, my poor darling. Well, we're only on for about a minute now, guys, because Ian's got to pop off at 10.
I was going to say,
I'll turn into a pumpkin if I'm not careful.
Yeah, here's the thing too. I mean, see, connections acting up again. I would have said, well, the connection's been it's starting to kind of crack up again for me. But I mean, I could try to restart my computer, go to my other computer, but I guess you won't be waiting for me before you guys end it.
Well, I'll tell you what. If Ian, because obviously, right, Ian has to go off at 10. I'll stay on for a bit longer with you. Okay then. I take it you didn't hear that at all, my friend.
Yeah, he probably
Siobhan
did.
says, my name is Siobhan. Have you guys ever seen Ghost? I, Siobhan, have. What I said was, Nick, see if you go and, right, quickly before you break, see if you go and change your computer. Me and Wayne will stay on a bit longer after Wayne leaves. After Ian leaves. If you go and change your
God,
computer. Right, I'll see you when you can.
I'll do that.
Right, come back then, because I feel bad you've hardly had a show. Oh, God love him. God love him. He's not had much luck here tonight. But I just want to really say thank you for the bottom of my heart for coming on. It's been really, really lovely having you.
Thank you both for having me. I hope I've done okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
Definitely.
Definitely want you back.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. It
and
means one thing I will say, and I always say this at the end of my show. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening. Because the fact I'm doing this, I mean, this is the fourth one of these podcast styles I've done now. I did, Jackie Dixon.
Yes.
Jacqueline Dixon. I did hers, and she was great and everything like that. And the fact people are asking me to come on these things now is amazing, and it's really, really touching, and it makes me feel very humble.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome anytime. In fact, you've kind of gave me a food for thought, but I'll talk to you. I will talk to you about it privately, but you've kind of gave me a food and thought and something.
Fantastic. I'm intrigued.
I'll have to tell you privately. Don't want to make it a public show. But
fantastic. Well, so thank you again so much.
Dizzy Lizzy strikes again. Shut up, asshole.
Thank you.
Rita says thank you, and he says it's been great, Ian.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Richard.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming, my love. But
thank
definitely,
you, Louise. Thank you, Louise, and it's been great to talk to you, Wayne.
I hate Louise. Don't call me that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Do you know what, guys? You will laugh. Stephen does it and he annoys the shit out of me. He'll say something and he'll go, "Aye, Louise," and I'm like, "Don't fucking call me Louise." I said, "I hate my name." And he says, "Well, what do you want me to call you then?" And I went, "Well, call me your baby." And he's like, "No, Louise." And I'm like, "You're due a slap."
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It's like my name. She used to pronounce my name with the E on the end, so she'd go Wayne. And I'm like, oh, don't call me Wayne. I hate that.
Well, thank you very much, my gracious hosts.
You're very now I can officially introduce you. Ian, that's Nick. Nick, that's Ian.
How's that, by the way?
Brilliant.
I think the problem was, earlier it was raining over here, and I think it possibly might have screwed up the system. So that's why I had to go on a different computer, and that's probably why it was really slowing down for my end.
Oh, it's fine. Well, Ian, leave it with me. You've actually gave me food for thought. I've been kind of thinking this one in the background, but I'll talk to you when. Well, we talk every day anyway, so we'll definitely. I'll say to you privately.
Oh, jeez, just left too.
Thanks, you cheeky dick. It's like, what the hell? Everybody just seems to cut me.
He's come back. There he is.
Sorry, something happened then. Sorry.
No, I bet you were. Is that because you heard me shout you cheeky dick and you're like, come back?
No.
But we'll definitely get you back on because poor Nick never even got a chance to interview you.
Oh, next time.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Next time.
But
Well-
you take care of yourself, my darling.
Right. You all take care, all of you. Great to have met you all. Take care.
And you, Nick.
Bye, honey.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So, just left the threes. So, I feel terrible, Nick, that you've just had to go and put the computer on. So, we might as well just do a wee tad bit longer.
I don't really have too much to bring up, but what I can't just say at the very least is, yeah, I've been packing up all day, and also before this, I had my social worker, so which I had to do on a video chat. So it's been really busy for me throughout today. It's been
Don't worry.
Yeah, first that, then I had to pack. Then I started packing up, and then of course this. And then later tonight, I got Supernatural talk. So in between, I still got to finish my packing for tomorrow.
Oh, don't worry about it. As I said, somebody kept me up late last night, so I'm a bit tired myself tonight. I wonder who that could have been, Nickelodeon. That bloody... Do you know what? I said this to Stephen. Last night, guys, obviously, we done the X-Files, the Nick file. And so it came it came to 12 o'clock, and I thought, we'll be all right, we'll be finished. So it came 20 past and 25 past, right? So Nick was wrapping up and that everything was well. Oh, and bye, Terry Two Bellies. Love you. Bye. So obviously it came to 25 past. So me and Nick do what me and Nick does best, right? After the show, we're sitting talking. Oh, it was so funny.
Yeah.
Stephen at one point woke up. He says he can't remember it. He woke up, growled at me, and then went back to sleep. And I had to say, Nick, I need to go because I think I'm waking him up. I was like, I need to go let him get to sleep. He was still sleeping.
That's hilarious.
I was just like, oh, Wayne. What's happening, Wayne? Just tell me to stop. Just be like, I want to talk.
How do you know I want to talk? I might be happy just listening.
You're a lurker tonight, a lurker.
No, as I said, I had to. I've got some voiceover work I've got to do, so I've got to save my voice. I don't want to get it too croaky.
Oh, when do you start it?
Well, I did one voiceover yesterday for our Ghost Guides, for a small video they're doing, and then I've got a fantasy book that I've got to do the voiceover for Audible, and then I am going to be starting on my other 4 books that I've already done, putting them into audio as well. So it's I've got a lot of work to do.
Oh my love!
But it is what it is.
Yeah. In case you wonder, by the way, Wayne, because I know some people are probably wondering too, this trip that I got for this weekend, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's actually a location I've been to before. However, we're not doing the investigation though, because again, problem is it's going to be expensive as hell, and there's going to be a lot of people at this thing. I'm heading back to Mansfield, the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio, for ParasiteCon. So got a lot of big names that are going to be there. Really excited about it. And yeah, it's going to be great to be back at OSR again. So it should be a lot of fun.
And hopefully, fingers crossed, you would that you get to meet David Deans.
That, you know what? I have not heard from David. I was hoping he was, because I tagged all the Ohio investigators I could think of, and I included him. But surprised that I haven't heard back from him yet. I've heard from many others that are going to be at ParapsyCon, but I didn't know that. I didn't hear back from him though, surprisingly.
Probably because Facebook's been an ass, because I think Facebook hits him a lot. Wait, oh, sorry guys, I'm in total torture tonight. I think Facebook hits him with a lot of bans. But seriously, it's crazy now.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the case.
So, this comes a point where Wayne tells everybody what's happening, because, well, starting tomorrow night, well, let's start with, no, in fact, Nick, let's start with Supernatural, because you're on Supernatural tonight. What's happening in Supernatural?
Well, there actually has been a change of plans now, because we were originally supposed to have the Wicked Wiccan sisters on tonight, but it sounds like to me that one of them, Nicole, she's going through some type of she has an appointment later today. I think she's going through something involving the dentist. So unfortunately, after that, she won't be able to really. It's not going to be. I don't know how else to say. She's just not going to be able to really talk. So unfortunately, we're going to have to reschedule them once again. So it's probably just going to be just a simple chat between me, Adrian, and Jeremy. You know, that's kind of, like I said, just kind of simple as that.
On tomorrow night's show, guys, I'm telling nobody nothing. So you're just going to have to tune in at 8 p.m. to see what Lois's big secret is. Mwah, ha ha ha, nobody's getting told nothing. You've got to have one of these shows, man. Got to keep them. What is it? They say treat them mean, keep them keen.
Or keep them confused, keep them bruised.
Exactly. So, Wayne, what is happening in Wayne's World for Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Every time you keep saying Wayne's World, I keep thinking of the movie Wayne's World.
Shouldn't have done that. Saturday, I am nowhere. No, I am. I'm going to be doing a local Comic-Con. Normally, we have one in Colchester every September called Invasion Colchester. And a friend of mine who normally does that one has decided to do one in my town. And it's the first ever one. And I've been invited to take part. So I'll be down there at the bottom of our town where the venue is, with my books, with my paranormal equipment, and talking to people about various shows. We've got a guy down there who was an original stormtrooper from Star Wars. He was in all 3 Star Wars films. He was an extra in Back to the Future, 007. He's been in a few of those. So he's done a lot of extra work. So he's going to be down there. They're going to have the DeLorean there as well. So it should be a good day. And then Sunday we'll be live again on Wayne Seaton Presents Spook and Ori with the results of this week's, or this I would say this week's. It's like almost as if I do a competition every week. The new competition that I've decided to do. So the results and the winner will be announced on Sunday's live. And then obviously it'll be back to Monday again with the Dark Mirror show.
Oh, what are we talking about on Monday?
Well, I think we're going to be discussing what has just recently been revealed by the Vatican, or is going to be revealed by the Vatican.
check it out, guys. You know where to find them. Wayne, your silly faces. I love Wayne's silly faces. But yeah, guys, check us out. Everybody stay safe. And make sure you all behave. Don't do stuff that I wouldn't do, because I'm an angel. Nick, don't you laugh. You're giving me a complex. But everybody have a good night, and we will see you all soon, guys. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.